Welcome to NuttieBuddie Entertainment.
Okay, let's start with Brian. Do you have a grade for us for the Attack of the Clones?
This is a first. I've done a couple of these podcasts with you guys, and I have no grades.
Okay, I started with you
Come
because
on.
Come
on.
Guys, I'll get into it. It's all listed in my bad. Just wait,
Mace Windu's purple lightsaber was awesome when you were a kid. Don't give me that.
Yeah, but did you watch Samuel L. Jackson trying to run with the lightsaber?
Does it? Who cares?
Hard to watch.
Okay, Travis, why don't you give us a grade then?
Oh, the first one, Ryan, is my favorite character is in this, Jango Fett. So a couple things with him that I love are my two favorite sounds in all of Star Wars is his blaster and the seismic charge that goes off in this. So off the bat, that's part of my favorite of this movie is his involvement in everything that happens. Unfortunately, he dies, but way too soon, kind of like Maul for you.
Yeah.
But
Spoiler alert.
I know.
Yeah, should I put that at the top of the podcast just so
Yeah.
you guys know we're going to spoil this movie that came out 20 years ago? No, I'm with you. Jango Fett was awesome. He was one of my greats as well. I like the suit and that you got to see Boba as well. Like you got to see where Boba came from, but he was definitely a great in my opinion as well.
What's funny is Boba Fett is also terrible acting in this, just as bad as it was in the show. I'm like, wow, this kid is pretty bad. But,
Maybe he's just awkward in front of cameras then. Maybe that's his character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's funny you say that because I thought the exact same thing. I remember I probably brought that up on the Boba Fett episode. It's like, why didn't they just have the kid play him as an adult? And there's a reason. One of you said like there's a reason why they didn't. And yeah, definitely. Poor guy. Poor kid.
Yeah. Luke, do you have a grade for us?
Travis stole my seismic charge. That was the coolest thing. It's still the coolest thing. I have a lot of greats. I really liked the world building of Coruscant when they were driving like the chase scene. I really thought that was cool. That wasn't something that was in any of the previous Star Wars movies. I don't believe there was anything like that. I just thought that was neat. That entire scene where they kind of, including the whole thing with the death sticks. I enjoyed all of that. I thought that was great. I liked all of it. I'm a big fan of Natalie Portman. I really liked her in this movie. 13-year-old me had just the biggest crush on Natalie Portman. Still do. So that was fantastic.
So you're biased is what you're saying. You got a level of bias.
Sure, let's go with that.
Okay, fair.
You asked me if there was any grades, Ryan. Those are great.
We'll come back around to everybody. We're all going to
I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
The entire Battle of Geonosis is the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing ever. I don't care. It's tied for coolest thing ever. Maybe not better than other things, but it's right up there. And then also, when you're looking at the world building of Star Wars, we got like the Clone Wars TV show and all that stuff because of all the clone stuff. And that's all fantastic. That probably would not happen without this movie. So a lot of great stuff, Brian.
A lot of great stuff. I'll kind of contribute to that a little bit, and I'll say Camino. I thought the idea of the Caminos, the Chemoans, whatever they're called, the cloning process, I thought that was pretty great. That was probably the best part of this movie to me, is when you got away from the Padme and Anakin stuff. Like, I won't say best part because I kind of agree with the final battle as well, but with the fight between Kenobi and Jango Fett, I thought was really well done. And it had one of my things that I guess I'll talk about is the ending of some of the fights. I didn't like how they ended, much like the Maul fight. I didn't really like the way that ended. I didn't like the way some of the fights ended in this movie as well, except the Jango Obi-Wan fight, it ended kind of in a way that you're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. So everything about Camino was great, and like you said, it led into the Clone War animated series, which was pretty awesome. Oh, okay, let's see. Chris, you got a grade for us?
Yeah, my first one, I'll say the reason we're here while why we're rewatching these movies. I think Ewan McGregor is great. He has to play a lot of different type of emotions, and I think he kills it in all of them. Obi-Wan is sort of a good character in this. I don't know if he's the smartest character all the time, but I just think I'll just say simply Ewan McGregor is great.
Yeah, and part of the reason, like you mentioned, because of the Kenobi series that's coming out in what, 20 days or whatever it is, 25 days or whatever it is it's all in preparation for that. Yep. Okay, so let's see. Any other greats since we already went around? Go ahead, Travis.
Well, thankfully for this movie, we got one of the best memes or gifs that you can get in all of history, and that's the Anakin Padme one, where it starts off with they're like, so you're gonna do this, right? And then it's Padme's face, or Anakin says that, and then it's Padme's face, and she says a question, and then Anakin's just staring at her, and then she's like, "You're doing it right." It's the best thing we've gotten out of
Great
this.
choice.
That's a great. That's awesome. Any other grades? Okay,
I'm gonna give one for Brian. You didn't like Dexter Jester, the chef that Obi-Wan Kenobi visits?
We haven't gotten to the ugly yet, guys. Let's not skip ahead.
He knew exactly what that poison dart was. Come on, that's great.
Even when he pulls his pants up, my wife was like, "Oh my gosh."
Anything else? Any other grades? I'll go ahead, Chris.
Wasn't it great that Yoda was fighting with a lightsaber? Wasn't that great?
No.
Didn't you like that at the time? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't
yes.
later, Chris. But when you were a kid, didn't you think that was awesome?
I actually loved it. I even loved it as a rewatch. Honestly, I love the way he fights. I'll take Yoda's fighting lightsaber style any day. Yeah.
Count Dooku's curved lightsaber. You didn't think that was awesome? Come on. Really cool. There was a lot of great stuff in this movie.
Yeah. I agree with that. Chris, you got another one for us?
I'll do another quick one. I thought Christopher Lee is great in this too. It's too bad he's only in like a kind of a small role in like the last half of the movie, but like the scene where Obi-Wan is has the energy shackles, and Dooku is kind of like tempting him. Like Christopher Lee just completely destroys that scene, and he's just generally the end. Like I don't think the end lightsaber duel is all that great, but his dialogue, his contribution to it, I think he's really great in it. So my number 2 grade is Christopher Lee.
I would say for anybody who has dialogue, it wasn't really great for any of them, right? So to be fair,
yeah, he's got the gravitas to make like this bad dialogue work and sound good.
Correct, and he was bittersweet to me just because it should have been Maul, in my opinion. But yes, I did like him. Luke.
Another great thing is that this movie makes sense from a story standpoint. Unlike anything that happened in the sequel trilogy, it fits together. As in, here is the Death Star plans at the end, and it was that was like a thing before. Now that we have all these Marvel movies and all these things to connect timelines and all that stuff, at the time, that wasn't a thing when we were younger, and so the fact that they were making these movies to connect them, it was really cool, and it made sense that here is why Obi-Wan is going to Camino to find out who this guy was that was here, who ordered these clones, who did all this stuff. You didn't find anyone breaking any rules of how
we lost your sound. You muted yourself.
As in, you can't just jump out of hyperspace. There's no jumping out of hyperspace behind a shield like in The Force Awakens. Like that's not a thing. We didn't break any Star Wars rules in this movie.
Yeah. I agree.
Great thing.
Okay, preach on that.
Disagreeing, Chris. What rule did we break?
We'll get to it. There's a lot of messy things going on here, but We'll get in. We'll save
Okay,
that.
okay,
Better
we'll-
new ones. Let's go with that.
Okay.
That's a great thing.
And a lot, sort of along with you. So the last grade I had is the foreshadowing in episode 2, which was I thought was really cool. So like, for example, Obi-Wan telling Anakin that you would be the death of me. And obviously in episode 4, he was the death of him, technically. We got the cantina scene, which I know Brian, the first one was great, but we get 5 of them after. But that was foreshadowing Obi-Wan's cantina scene in episode 4. We got Anakin and Palpatine walking side by side, which foreshadowed Vader and Palpatine walking side by side. When Padme and Anakin were professing their love for each other, but they said they shouldn't do it. And Anakin said that if they kept a secret, it would destroy us. And evidently, or eventually we find out it does destroy them, that they kept this secret from everybody. And then obviously Anakin kind of like promoting a dictatorship unknowingly. And then we get a dictatorship. So those were some of the things that like foreshadowed what was going to all happen. I thought that was really good. So go ahead, Luke. Thanks for watching this clip of our movie review for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. If you'd like to listen to more of our thoughts with the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly, go ahead and look at the description below. There will be links to the podcast, and you can go to the podcast feed to find other reviews of TVs, shows, and movies that we have done. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow me on Instagram at NuttieBuddie_entertainment when I drop podcasts. And that's all I got for you. Thanks so much again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.